Exchanging your foreign driving license for a Finnish one could cost you about 150 euros. But getting a completely new license through a driving school could cost between 1,500 and 2,500 or even more. That means exchanging your license one time could save you over 1,000 euros. But there is a deadline. If you wait too long, you may lose the opportunity to exchange your license without taking the Finnish theory test and driving test. Hello and welcome back to Imole Candid. If you're new here, this channel shares practical information about work, studies, business, and everyday life in Finland. Please subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss future videos. Today, I will explain who can exchange a foreign driving license for a Finnish one. I will explain how long you are allowed to drive with a foreign driving license, the documents that you need, how much the process may cost, and the deadline you must not miss. I will also share my own experience of exchanging my license after moving to Finland. Let's get to it. I moved to Finland in September 2020. And about 2 months later, I had already started driving. I came to Finland with a valid foreign driving license, my Nigerian license, but instead of waiting until the 2-year deadline was almost over, I decided to exchange it for a Finnish driving license immediately. The process was quite straightforward in my own case, and in all cases I have heard about so far. You should note this. Before you apply, your permanent place of residence must normally be in Finland. This means your address and municipality of residence should be recorded in Finland's population information system. You can check or register your information through the Digital and Population Data Agency, commonly known as DVV. Because my license was issued in a contracting state, and I will explain this later and also put links in the description below, I needed a medical certificate for the exchange. First, I went to a private healthcare provider for the required medical examination. During the appointment, my eyesight was checked and I was also asked some very simple questions about my health and use of alcohol. Your own medical examination may be different. The doctor decides what needs to be checked based on your health, your age, and the driving license categories you are applying for. The medical certificate is valid for 6 months. After receiving the medical certificate, I booked an appointment with Ajovarma, and I will add a link for this in the description below. I went there in person with my foreign driving license, the medical certificate, my means of identification, in my case, the international passport, and passport photographs. Ajovarma accepted my application and took my foreign driving license as part of the exchange process. My original foreign driving license was sent to Traficom for storage. It may be returned to you if you later move permanently out of Finland. In my own case, Ajovarma issued me a temporary license. This allowed me to continue driving in Finland while my application was processed. At the time, even exchanging the license was expensive, so the cost difference was very significant. The official fee for exchanging a foreign driving license at Ajovarma is currently 45 euros. You may need to pay separately for the medical certificate, passport photographs, and an official translation if one is required. In my own case, the total cost was approximately about 150 euros. That included the 45 euro exchange application fee and the medical certificate. Your own total may be different because healthcare providers have different prices, and I have heard that it can even be cheaper. Now compare that with getting a completely new driving license in Finland. Going through a driving school can easily cost between 1,500 and 2,500 euros or even more. If you need to learn how to drive from scratch, you can watch this video right here, where I explain how you may be able to reduce the cost. So in my case, exchanging my license for approximately 150 euros instead of starting again through driving school saved me well over 1,000 euros. And it can save you too. And I received a Finnish Category B license that was valid for 15 years. So what are the eligibility requirements? Now, the exact rules depends on the country that issued the driving license. Foreign driving licenses generally fall into 3 main categories. The first category is licenses issued in an EU or EEA country, like Sweden, for instance, Ireland, or Germany. A valid EU or EEA license can generally be used in Finland for as long as it remains valid. You do not normally need to exchange it immediately after moving to Finland. The second category is licenses issued in a contracting state or comparable state, which I mentioned earlier. This includes countries such as Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, India, the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, the Philippines, and Brazil. If you have an ordinary Category B license from one of these countries, you can generally drive in Finland for up to 2 years after moving here permanently. If you meet the exchange conditions and apply within the required period, you can generally exchange an ordinary Category B license without taking the Finnish theory test or driving test. But your license must be valid and you must apply within the required period. This is the category that applied in my own case, so the second category. The third category is licenses issued in another country recognized by Finland. So these countries do not belong in the EEA or EU, and they also are not contracting states. You may fall into this category if your country is not in the EU or EEA and is not listed as a contracting state or comparable state. Because some foreign licenses are not recognized in Finland. Sad reality, huh? But check the official links below and contact Ajovarma or Traficom to confirm your category. These licenses may generally be used for 1 year after you are entered into Finland's population register, DVV. To exchange the license, and remember we are talking about Category 3, you must first receive a positive decision from Traficom and then pass both the Finnish theory test and driving test. Now, for all categories, there's also one very important condition that you need to note. You must normally have received your original right to drive before becoming permanently resident in Finland. If you first obtained your foreign driving license after becoming permanently resident in Finland, the license may not qualify for an exchange. However, if you received the license before moving to Finland and later renewed it, it may still qualify. Simply put, you cannot register your move to Finland, go back to your home country to learn how to drive, and then return to exchange that license. So, if you are planning your move to Finland, learning how to drive and getting your license before you move could save you a lot of time and money. You may also need an official translation of your driving license into Finnish, Swedish, or English. A translation may not be required if the important information is already clearly shown on the license. This will include the date of issue, the expiry date, the vehicle categories, and the validity period for each category. This is why you should not wait until you urgently need a car before checking whether your license can be exchanged. You may not need to drive today, but delaying the process could eventually cost you more time and more than 1,000 euros. For many people with an ordinary Category B license from a contracting state or a comparable state, applying within that 2-year period can make the difference between a straightforward exchange or having to complete the Finnish driving examination. You choose. I recommend applying as soon as you are registered in the Finland's population information system. Remember that laws can change, so take advantage of the opportunity while it is available. To recap, check which category your country belongs to. Make sure your license is still valid. Get the required medical certificate. Book your foreign driving license exchange appointment with Ajovarma. You must go there in person and start the process early. Always check the latest Traficom guidance for your country and the license category before applying. I've included useful links in the video description below. And if you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to Imole Candid, and share it with someone who recently moved to Finland. I'm sure they will find this useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.